Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Afrique 24-hour TV. Of course, this is our daily political talk show. So welcome to today's show where we interact and engage with African stories. We also give you an opportunity to interact with what is happening in our political landscape. I know what has happened in the country. We are currently receiving a lot of rains. There is a lot of flooding, and maybe my advice to motorists and anybody who is driving home that you take precaution and be careful, so that you don't engage yourself in some unnecessary deaths. We can also avoid unnecessary accidents, like what we saw today happening in Mwingi. Those 10 people who were swept away by water. That was something that you would have avoided. So take precaution as you travel and ensure that you are safe. If you're joining me for the first time and you've not subscribed to our channel, kindly go to YouTube and search for Afrique and ensure you subscribe. And by the way, I forgot to tell you, I don't pay to subscribe. It's free to subscribe. You only click on the subscription button, then turn on the notification bell. So karibuni. Of course, today is Friday 26th April 2024. Kwa wale wa mshahara, I can say that we are having only 4 days and the month itakuwa imeisha. So today in our political watch, of course, we are going to look at the UDA grassroots elections, not nominations, sorry. We're also going to look at some of the political trends. We're also going to look at, there's a lot of floods in the country and there are so many people who are affected and they really need assistance or they need to be guided. So welcome on board. Ensure that you invite 1 or 2 people to watch with you. Don't watch alone. Invite them. It is really simple. Just click on the share button. Then you can be able to share with your contacts so that they can also join us in this conversation. And as I always tell you, joining me in this conversation is the easiest thing. You don't need to struggle. You can let me know your feelings. You can let me know your question or your views through the comment section there. And you can also use the link that I'm going to share in the comment section so that you can be able to join me in studio and be part of this conversation. Let me know where you're joining me from. I can see watu wameanza kujaja hapo. But you people, you are there, but you're not communicating. I need to see the conversation moving. Before I take you to the political arena, allow me to remind you, I just want to show you some of the videos of what is taking place. But before that, of course, as we are looking at the UDA grassroots elections, I remember in Nairobi, the elections ran smoothly despite the fact that some people are not able to be identified. They are using digital election methods, including Johnson Sakaja, who is vying to become the chairman of Nairobi, that is the UDA party. He could not be able to vote for himself, but later on they said those were technological things and they were going to be sorted, and they resorted to using the manual way. So you can also be able to report to me from where you are if the elections were successful. What we saw is that there was a huge turnout in Homabay County, a certain village, and the turnout was so overwhelming. We even saw the Party Secretary General, that is Cleophas Malala, on the ground. So before that, we're also going to look at the wastages that are taking place in our counties. We've been having some queries and some audit queries specifically in the Nairobi City County. So I want to play for you this video. It speaks of what is happening in Nairobi. Remember, when people elected Johnson Sakaja, he had a slogan meaning lazima iwak. So from this video, you'll be able to tell me if inawak or imekataa kuwaka.
So this is the state of Nairobi. I've gone to the Senate more than 11 times, more than any governor in the last 1 year. Out of the 14 or so invites, I've only missed 2.
It's about to go down.
Hang on 1 second. In fact, you have failed to appear before the Energy Committee to answer to questions of the Mradi explosion. How do you account for this time? Why aren't you available to the people that you report to?
It is clear this governor prioritizes sherehe instead of, government business.
Let's go.
The governor should prioritize the expansion of critical infrastructure, including sewerage and water reticulation.
We are just against environmental terrorism.
Sakaja ni jina lako halisi.
Went and bought the team's university certificate at 7 million shillings.
That is fraud. That's fraud.
Awaeleze what happened with the 90 billion Kenya shillings imepotea kutoka Nairobi County. 90 billion.
The roads cannot be made because the governor has looted all the monies.
Seriously, is this how we are going to run the capital city of the Republic of Kenya?
The days of leaving your house and coming back in the evening to find a demolished structure are over in the county of Nairobi.
The demolition exercise by officials from Nairobi County government has left them homeless and exposed.
To an incident at the Nairobi suburbs of Westlands, where an Asian family has fallen to what it has described as a mystery and blatant land grab and eviction from their home of 46 years.
Estates in Nairobi County are expected to vacate their premises for what the county terms as the Nairobi Urban Renewal and Regeneration Project.
That the days of innocent traders and hawkers just plying their trade because the administration has not provided for them, being chased and bungled into rust-filled contraptions by my good officers in the county are over.
Johnson Chakaja! Johnson Chakaja! Johnson Chakaja! Nimekuita mara tano. This is what you're doing to our mothers. This is what you're doing to our sisters. Your time is coming.
Nairobi under Sakaja is a piece of shit.
Huyu gavana alipeleka nyinyi msituni, kuze kama gavana, mupeleke yeye msituni.
Let us stand together. Let us stand behind Rigiji, and that's the only way we can win this battle.
Being my friend.
All right, I think, guys, you've seen that video. Of course, we are going to weigh into that later. Actually, there are so many things that we are going to weigh into because we are also going to look at some of the wastages that are happening in our counties. And today, we are specifically going to look at the wastages in Nairobi. And of course, we'll have to reach all the counties. So that is why I had to play for you that video. So you people on the ground, you can be able to tell what is happening there. And away from that, there were some elections. I told you, of course, there are party elections taking place, the UDA party elections. And we saw people gathered in different places participating in this kind of elections, and some are even having the roadshows. Let me show you some of the videos that we managed to collect from various places. I'll start by what happened in Homabay, which seemed to have shocked many by the level in which people turned out for these elections, despite the fact that it is not a UDA, a stronghold. But the people of Homabay came out in large numbers to go and elect their UDA grassroots representatives. Let me... How do you go?
Aquí
Guys, what you are watching, that is not Kirinyaga, neither is it South Rift. That is Homabay County, and the people were really up, and they were really, let me say, they were eagerly waiting for this day so that they can be able to elect their grassroots party officials. That is what happened. And somewhere else, this is still in Homabay. The people who went there early enough, and because they found that the gates were not even opened, they had to do this so that they can be able to get an access. I'll show you. Oh, I think you watched, that is one of the aspirants in Homabay, that is called Mwalimu Odoyo Owidi, breaking and vandalizing the school gate so that he can be able to get access. I think he found out that the people are supposed to, or the ones who are responsible to open the gates, delayed, so he had to do this so for him to gain access, because he could not wait the elections to open. Of course, later on, we are also going to look at the conduct of those people who want to become the party officials, like the ones you want to become a chairman, you want to become a secretary general, you want to become a youth leader or a women representative. We are going to discuss something on their conduct. Having watched that video, it speaks a lot of the kind of people that we give responsibility. You can see Geoffrey Ruto is saying that Kenyans must pay attention to flash flood watches and warning. Areas with the history of floods must get to higher ground and never wade through water. Common sense can prevent incidences. I do agree with you fully, Geoffrey. Common sense can prevent such incidences. I just want to show you an incident that happened, and you will realize that these people ought not to have lost their lives these carelessly. This is something that they ought to have prevented earlier. So have a look at how these ladies and gentlemen were swept away by water in what I can call careless, just joking around with death. I think you've seen, I think that is one of the things that Geoffrey is talking about, being careless. And once again, in our international airport, that is AKIA, ilifanya ile kitu. The rains have once again exposed us, and it seemed that the roofing had not yet been done, and justice hasn't been done to it. So you can have a look at it. Ramesi, you're saying God is washing away our sins with these floods. How? Can you really explain? How is God washing away our sins with the floods? I think if people learned something about the flash floods, and if you didn't, there's a certain, is it a document, not a documentary, but there's a certain informative post that was done by CNN. If you visit their page, you'll be able to understand why it's raining. However much we are also saying that the rains that are here are as a result of our prayers and the fasting that we did in the State House and such kind of things. But there is a scientific explanation of what is currently happening. So what we need to tell people is that they need to be cautious, they need to take precautions and avoid the places that are having history of floods. Of course, you need to go to some raised areas, avoid crossing roads that have been covered by water. You might think that it's the normal road, not knowing that maybe there's some holes over there. Don't dare your life. If you find that there is water there, it's not a must that you cross. You can as well wait. So you should not be in a hurry. So if you get in a hurry, you might end up losing your life. And we really don't want to lose you right now. Life is so sweet. Life is so sweet that I don't think we should be in a position of losing anybody. Not even a single person should lose their lives carelessly. So if you can avoid it, kindly avoid it. You only travel when necessary, but avoid watery places. That is the only advice that I can give you people. So as we begin our conversation, of course, I told you there's a lot that has happened this week, and concerning the flood, of course, we also have to comment on it. I'll just take you through the press conference that was given yesterday by the able governor of Nairobi, addressing the issue so that we can be able now to discuss when we know what really transpired and what is taking place.
All private service providers of garbage and solid waste management to ensure that all waste is taken to the Dandora dump site. Wale watu wote ambao wanachukua takataka zile kampuni za kibinafsi ambao wanalipwa na wananchi, waache kutupa takataka kwa illegal dump sites ambazo hazijakuwa designated, wapeleke takataka yao Dandora. Wale ambao watapatwa wakikiuka, kwa mfano kule English Press, kule Diamond ambapo tumefunga, leseni zao zitafutiliwa mbali na magari yao yatashikwa. Those who go against that directive will have their licenses, the PSP licenses, cancelled forthwith and their vehicles impounded immediately. The clearing of the structures begin immediately. As we speak. That's why I have all the CSCs and chief officers here, and the national government. We have the police to help us. Where the structures need to be cleared, they must be cleared, no matter whose it is. And that's why I have thanked those in the informal settlements have been more cooperative. But those higher up in Kileleshwa, in Lavington, in Kilimani, we will just have to use force, unfortunately, because it is about saving lives. And so we're going to do that. We have to provide for these people in the interim. So we are putting together food supplies, mattresses, blankets, dignity kits, hygiene kits, and sanitary kits for the women, emergency drugs, water purification tablets, and also education support, because our children must be able to go back to school when schools open next week. The meteorological department has told us that the rains are going to continue, and so we urge people not to wait to be moved, but to actually move themselves. Tafadhali msingoje kusongeshwa. Kama pali huko, jana kulinyesha, unafikiri leo ni safe, leo labda mvua itakuwa zaidi. So usisubiri kusongeshwa. Jameni, watu wasonge mahali ambapo wameelezwa na wale sub-county admins, assistant county commissioners na deputy county commissioners ambao wako hapo. Na pia tunahimiza watu wetu wafanye kazi na viongozi. Tuna MCAs ambao wako kwa wards, tuko na wabunge. Wabunge wote na MCAs wanawajali. So ukiwaeleza msonge sio kwa nia mbaya, lakini ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunanusuru maisha yenu ili muwe sawa sawa.
Thank you for listening to that, because yes, I'm joined by I can see Hillary. Hillary, good afternoon or good evening. Hillary, all right. It seems that I'm fine, thank you. It seems there's a lot of darkness where you are. Are you somewhere in the village?
In the village, man. I'm in the village.
Oh, that's great. I can hardly hear you. So maybe if you can just move closer to your microphone, and if you are, oh, I can now see you.
Me?
Yeah, I can now hear you clearly. So I hope you. Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Leo. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm really good. I'm safe. So maybe, I don't know, from your end, are you safe? Have you marked yourself safe? You know, with these floods, we are getting some
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
stories.
good. The flood is too much, but we thank God, man. We thank God we are well.
Oh,
Let the
that's
rain, the
great.
rains are blessings. As
Yeah.
much as they're killing people at the moment, people should take care of the same. If you're alive, that is good. How are you doing, man?
That is good. That is good. Oh, there's so many things that have happened, and of course, today we had what is called the grassroots elections in UDA, whereby they are electing the people who are going to represent the UDA party in various grassroots levels. That is at the ward levels, at the constituency, and maybe at the county levels. Most of the process was so smooth, though there were some few challenges with some people claiming that they could not be able to find their names. There are some people who are not able to vote. And there is something that happened. I really want you to respond to it, Hillary. I don't know if you can be able to connect well. It seems your internet is not maybe stable, but please do get a place and ensure you connect back. So meanwhile, I'll play for you the video that I want you to respond to. I know you come from Homabay, and you will really be at a position to tell me the feeling over there, having engaged with your kinsmen over there, and why they had to turn out in large numbers and grace this exercise. When some Kenyans do believe that UDA is not popular in those parts of the country. So I'll be engaging you later on that, Mr. Hila Gondi. So kindly, you can just connect back. I know you're having challenges with connection, but kindly try sort it out so that we can be able to get you well. Meanwhile, Ramesh is saying that as a religious and superstitious people, we don't place much importance on science. Amen. But I think science and religion is one thing. Maybe name is what differs. So maybe you can make me understand. Ramesh, you're claiming that God flooded the whole world as a means to cleanse sins during the biblical event of the Great Flood. So do you mean that God is currently flooding the entire world? Is he flooding Kenya so that he can be able to cleanse the sins of Kenyans? I think that is according to Ramesh. But you can go ahead and back up your explanation. Or if it is just a mere theory, then you can also allow us understand and maybe help you in speculating. As Hillary is joining us, I earlier on told you that we're going to weigh on so many things. I just want to show you how the nomination happened in different parts of the country. I'll just show you, not the nominations, forgive me, I'm sorry for that. It's grassroots elections. They're electing members who are going to run the party at the grassroots level. So I'll be able to show you, I think I'll play for you what was taking place in Homabay. And then from that, you will be able to weigh out, to weigh in, and tell me what you feel. You can start with this, huh?
Since last year, and this goes without saying due to the complicated nature of grassroots elections. If ODM party is anything to go by, if you remember the Men in Black scenario. So right now we want to cross over to Homabay County, where my colleague Abuire is joining us live with the latest update on the ongoing UDA grassroots elections. Buire, it's good to see you. Good morning. I hope everything is calm and well. One thing that stood out for me is that they were doing this grassroots elections electronically, and this was definitely set to be a game changer. What's the latest from where you're reporting from?
Well, good morning, Jesse. As you've said, yes, we are here in Homabay County, and this is specifically Karachuonyo constituency, one of the 8 constituencies in Homabay County. Remember, we're having over 16,000 candidates who have expressed their interest in vying for various positions. In fact, they are vying for 20 positions at the grassroots here in Homabay County, and we're expecting the over 400 polling stations to be closed by around 3 p.m. so that we might know who are the exact winners of the candidates who are contesting in this particular race. But with me here, allow me to speak to one of the secretariat members who are here, just to shed us some light on exactly what is transpiring here in Homabay County, specifically how many candidates we're having, and what exactly is transpiring as we're speaking now. Welcome to KTN News, and thank you for sparing time to speak to us. Exactly, we started the voting a little bit late because of the rains, but so far, how is the exercise?
Thank you very much. The exercise began very well, even though a bit late because of rains. Now, we are doing elections for 20 grassroots leaders per polling station, and therefore that means that this is done across the country. Across the county, and that means that we are expecting to have basically 17,500 grassroots leaders across the county, that is in the 40 wards. And so here at Omolagar polling station, this is one of the polling stations where the current president, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, got highest number of votes here in Nyanza. And so we are already having over 500 to 600 voters who have already turned out, and we are as at now we are at over 50% voter turnout, and therefore we approximate that by the end of the day we shall have over 90 to 100% turnout. Now, what is important that we need to understand is that we have over 1,500 voters here in Omolagar and across Kibiri Ward and Homabay County. You can imagine if we have 20 grassroots leaders at the polling station in an area or a county where the president got only 3,000 votes, then you can imagine if we have grassroots leaders that are serving the ruling party as officials at the moment, then you can imagine what that will culminate into when it comes to voting in 2017. I wouldn't want to go there, but what is important is that the voting is going on well. We appreciate those who have turned out, and this turnout that we are experiencing in Omolagar is happening across the county, and so we expect that the process will go successfully. So far, we have experienced a lot of smoothness in all the polling stations through our coordination teams, and everything is set to go, and it will be a success to the ruling party and the government of the day that has organized this exercise. Thank you very much, and we hope to have this come to a conclusion at around 3 p.m. Thank you very much.
Just one question. Who is eligible to come and vote here?
Now, we have registered members of the party who are eligible to vote for this exercise, and they are supposed to vote for different categories in this polling station primaries that we are having. And therefore, these eligible party members are people who are registered and they belong to the party. And in this specific polling station, nearly the 1,500 registered voters have enlisted as members of the ruling party, UDA.
Thank you. Just say it would be wrong to end up without speaking to one of the voters who has arrived here. And I just want to confirm if you have already voted and how has the exercise been. Tell us your name and maybe how you're feeling today that you've participated in this particular election.
My name is Joel Onyang. I have voted and the voting is going on well. We are happy with the ruling party and how the voting is going on. I am an uncle of Dr. Raymond Molo. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. You can see how things can change in a minute. Normally, this is a region that has been
Thank you so much. I'm glad that I'm also joined by one and only Mr. Osonga. So Mr. Osonga, karibu kwenye show ya leo. Today being Friday, 26th of April 2024. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you as we are having our political watch. Of course, there's a lot of things that have happened, and we are not forgetting the fact that the country is flooded. There is a heavy rainfall that is being received in different parts of the country, and you know very well that next week schools are also supposed to be opened, and this is something that the PS education and the basic whatever Belio Kipsang maintained and confirmed that the schools will be opened irrespective of how the rain maybe falls, whether places are flooded or not flooded. Education will have to run smoothly and schools will have to be open. So I want to welcome you, Wesonga. I know today is Friday. Allow me also to say Ijuma Mubarak for our Muslim brothers and sisters. I know they had a fantastic one. They had a blessed Ijuma. And as I welcome you to say hello, I just wanted to start with the video that I've just played. Of course, we'll proceed and talk more. But before I forget, just wanted to respond to the video that you've just seen. According to the Uda Grassroots elections that are taking place, the turnout in Homabay, specifically at Homabay, that is where the PS Raymond comes from, was so overwhelming, and it was so shocking. I'll play for you a video when people are having some procession along the road, and you would think that is the bedrock or that is the bedroom of UDA party. You've even heard it from the uncle himself. That is Raymond's uncle, and there is a claim that polling station, Homolagar Primary School, has got a total number of registered voters, which is 1,500. Those ones are the ones that are registered with IEBC. But you've been told that all these 1,500 registered voters at Molo Agar Primary School have been enlisted and have registered as members of the UDA party. So what do you have to say on that, even as you say your maiden greetings?
Very little talk about the UDA.
Thank you. I can hear you well now.
Maybe the other team members can pick up this topic. It's quite conversant with the UDA politics.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Oh, you're saying you are not okay. Did you just proceed then to say you hello and maybe your opening remarks? And that one I did not want to say anything. I just want to see. Are you shocked that the turnout was really huge in Homabay, or does it mean that UDA is gaining momentum and has really managed to recruit as many members in the Homabay, which is usually not politically normal? That is an area that is always dominated by the ODM and the ODM party, not UDA. So what we saw there was surprising. Not even in Sugoi or not even in somewhere in Kirinyaga did we see that kind of turnout. What does it speak? Are the political dynamics changing in Nyanza?
I've very little talk about UDA, whether it's Nyanza, whether it's Nairobi. I've very little talk about them. I can only talk about the government, but not the UDA as a party, because it's a mess. And that's why they're trying to convince people to join them. Homabay is not an exemption. People are just trying to show William Ruto that for the 3 trips that he has covered in Homabay, they want to show him that he's the best government. But now in their heart, they are saying how bad he is. So turning out for those shambolic elections is not something to carry on our back, but it's just something to watch and leave it at that point. And it's not the general elections as well. That is not something to worry ODM or any other political party which is interested in the Nyanza region or Western region as a whole. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I can see Laban Misiani. Yeah. I can hear you now. I can see Laban Misiani is saying that we understand Tawe as a better option, and Geoffrey Ruto is asking, where is UDA getting resources to deploy choppers for grassroots elections while Kenyans are grappling with flood crisis? I think that is a question that is asking. Those people are probably relatives of Raymond Omolo, as they have said, so that a friendship club, there's a friendship club, not a party elections. Wah, 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 wah. All right, the schools opening. I think Kevin or something, you're trying to say something about the schools are opening. So maybe I can also get you there. The schools are opening, that is in a week's time. And you had the PS education, Bello Kipsan, saying that nothing is going to stop the schools from opening, and teachers and parents should go ahead and ensure that schools are opened and students are taken to school. You know that there are so many places that have been flooded, including there are some schools in Kisumu County. I can't remember. There's a school at a place called Kabonyo, Kanyagwal, something like that, that was swept away. I saw some schools swept away in Nyakach, and they are planning to do some renovation. Do you think it's a good idea to proceed and open schools with these floods, or the government should maybe extend the holiday for the students for a bit?
I respect Dr. Bello Kipsang. He's a gentleman. He has worked with the Ministry of Education for quite some time, during the Matiang'i's time, and now during Professor Machogu's time. But being adamant or trying to convince Kenyans that everything is okay is not right. Floods is a natural disaster, and it's something that you need to give it an eye and an ear. You need to listen to the public as you watch the situation. You cannot just force people that all students and pupils should report back to school at the expense of their lives. These are lives of the future leaders, the future Kenyans, when maybe me and you, we will not be there. So saying that or convincing that students and pupils should be in school is like taking them to their deathbeds. We've seen numbers going high in terms of those who are dying in these floods. It's not right. In fact, those are adults. But then how about students, young children who will be crossing rivers, crossing flooded roads and streams, and it's completely recalcitrant, just to say the least. So Bello Kipsang should just look at himself, put himself in the shoes of Kenyans who are having it very hard to put food on the table, who are having it very difficult to get jobs, but he's now forcing students to go to school. How? His students will not be going to the public primary school in Makueni, which is flooded. The students probably are in Makini school, and probably if the floods are there, they can be taken there by chopper. So how about my children and yours, who may probably not be able to get even a pro box, or even a donkey cart to take them to school? So I would not like a full PhD holder to make such kind of a comment that students should be in school and things to go as usual. Even during COVID was there, but students were closed. How about floods? So I don't agree with that.
I get you. You have the view that schools should be suspended a while as we await, because of course, really, this is like a death trap. I saw the way these places were really flooded. If you look at what you saw in the Madare Valley and most places in this country, you remember that these are the same places that are hosting these schools. So imagine such kind of rain and children are at school. Will the teachers really be able to manage? Because we don't have some disaster management preparedness to be able to tackle this. So that one is well understood. I can also see Laban Misiani is talking of Machogu. Machogu is just a cabinet secretary. But if I'm not wrong, I think most of these decisions, the permanent secretary, the PS, is somebody who is having the institutional memory of these ministries. That is why, as long as the cabinet secretaries are normally political appointees to represent some political figure, But the permanent secretaries are and should always be people who are qualified and have got some expertise and understanding of their various ministries. And somebody like Belio Kipsang, if we talk of the permanent secretaries who've been to the Ministry of Education the longest, whom we believe have seen a lot of transitions in our education system, we is one of them, and it's really sometimes hard to understand how they come to make these conclusions, because he's somebody that we believe that has got some deep understanding. And at some point, Kenyans thought that he's the one who was going to be appointed as the Minister of Education. That is when the Kenya Kwanza government took power, and now we were so clear that people like Magoa were not going to make it there with the Matiang'i. So that is your opinion. Allow me also to welcome the ones who are viewing this from the comment section. I can see Gudia is already there. There is Ramesu Yagon, Kamasia family. There's Laban Misiani. I can see this gentleman, Kula Chapati. I don't know which beef he's having with you, Wasonga. He's telling me that you seem to be high. So I don't know if it means that you're seated on a high chair or something like that. Maybe he knows. And of course, I'm also seeing my brother. That is Brother Benson Media. Brother Benson Media is also doing some wonderful job on his channel there, just giving some civic education to fellow Kenyans. And of course, one and only Geoffrey Ruto. I do appreciate and value your comments. These are the things that keep this conversation moving. So Ramesh is telling you, I think he's responding to you, Songa, that a PhD does not guarantee wisdom, no wit. What do you have to say on that? That's just a mere fact that you have a PhD doesn't guarantee that you're wise.
We assume that having a PhD is the highest degree that an individual should hold.
Okay.
I agree with him that having a PhD does not guarantee wit, the best terms possible. But of course, we would always believe that professional sagacity should always be displayed. Even just very little reasoning in such a way that there are floods.
All right.
And when there are floods, small children or pupils can be swept away by floods. When they are swept away by floods, they can probably die. And when death occurs, then that's a future life that is lost. So therefore, this actually doesn't need even somebody with a PhD or whatever it is. It's just pure critical thinking that is required in this. And just to avoid arrogance of Dr. That ministry's arrogance, that should not be, accepted in this kind of scenario. Kenyans are going through a lot. You saw Kibera, you saw different places people are going through a lot, including the Safaricom houses in Athi River. So risking Kenyans' children is completely out of order. So I call on Dr. Dr. Belio Kipsang to review his idea, to review his decision, and to let people remain at home, and let's watch the situation as it unfolds. When things get better, the children can go to school. We can as well review the school calendar. It's not cast on stones that students should be in school and the calendar should run as it is. It's not.
I get you. We can as well review the school calendar. It happened even during Corona. We saw it happen, but we were able to recover the days that were lost. Let me welcome and bring on board Boniface Kimazi. Boniface, I hope you are safe. I just want to give you this opportunity as you say hi and give your opening remarks. You can also confirm and mark yourself safe. You know, right now it's raining, right, like in Nairobi where you are. And when I see you, I know things are okay. Maybe you might be seated and there's water under you. You might be joining this show when you are on top of a roof somewhere. So kindly confirm your safety, then you can proceed. We also saw the grassroots elections in Nairobi. So you can tell me how many people managed to participate in these elections where you are. Did you get an opportunity to interact with the processes? And so far, Do we have some results of who was elected and who was not elected? What about the voter turnout? Or Kenyans are tired of politics? Karibu sana Boni.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you so much. Hi, Kevin, Leo.
Yeah, hi.
Good evening from Nairobi, Kenya, and also the viewers who are always following and making sure that they are in Afrique 24 TV. Yeah, Nairobi good. The weather is cool. Today we have received a lot of rains early afternoon, but now we have just drizzles that are happening outside here. But again, still we have the flooding that is taking place. We have roads that have a lot of water. The vehicles are struggling to pass by the roads, and again, a lot of things are happening. We are good, but again, we are suffering. Nairobi is one of the counties that we are suffering. And again, as we mourn, today in Ukambani, Makueni, we
Boniface,
experienced...
are you there?
Sir?
Or you've been frozen?
No, I'm there.
Okay.
You're not hearing me?
You okay? I can now hear you. Proceed.
As I say, today in Makueni, we experienced some incidents whereby it is unexpected for some of the people to do that, yet we know what we are having in our country, that the floods and water is almost taking over this country. So today 10 people were swiped in Makueni, and as we talk, some people have been rescued, and others, we have some bodies that have been recovered from that incident. So we urge every person who is even crossing water, make sure kama maji ni ya kuoga tu ndio unaweza ingia pale. Ukiona hiyo ingine hata kama inavuka barabara ya Ludhuli Avenue, unaachana nayo kabisa.
I get you. Umesema kama maji ni ya kuoga tu ndio uvuke. I think that is a great advice. And maybe Boniface, if you can be able to hear me. Boniface?
Yeah, you are the problem with your network, bro. My network is steady.
No, I'm asking if you can be able to hear me. I asked you something about
yes, I'm hearing you very well.
UDA grassroots elections. What do you say of it?
Yeah, I've seen that the UDA grassroots election have taken place, but again, that is not my party. So my party is still struggling to get the next kingpin. So I saw what is happening, but again, they had a lot of problems. Some of the people names were not present. They did not even have some of the equipment. And we know that those are the things that happen during election, and again, they happen during even grassroots elections. We know this is a normal thing. So what I can say is that I wish them well, because this is the ruling party of our country. I wish them well as they conduct this grassroots election, and as they promise that the grassroots election will be free and fair. But I will not agree with that, because who knows that they will be free and fair? I wish them well. I'm waiting for Azimio to launch grassroots election, because that is my party. Yeah, I think
Azimio's grassroots elections, I think the way they were scheduled, they're supposed to start today. If I mean today, I think we already in the midnight. So what we are waiting is to see if they will really happen. That is what people are waiting. Though Kenyans, we saw the turnout. There was a turnout in Homabay. I just want to play you that video, then I'll get your view on it. If the ground is shifting and people are leaving these other political parties, and people are now joining UDA. I'll show you this so that you can be able to see what was happening. Boniface, that is Homabay County, the county that overwhelmingly votes for ODM. Does it mean that the ground has shifted? What do you say on that? Is UDA getting deep inside ODM's bedroom?
I think Kimanzi is having some technical
some technical problems.
Technical hitch.
Okay.
But just to stand in for him, I think seeing the crowds, as I told you before, I said it before, that does not imply that ODM is losing track in its popularity in Homabay or Nyanza as a whole, and UDA is gaining track. That is not the case. But the case is that, you see, politics goes with euphoria in Kenya.
Okay.
So now the euphoria is that people are trying to convince or to tell UDA, that in as much as we didn't vote for you, and again, having not voted for you, when you are invited for any grand opening of any project in our region, you always come. Okay. We don't love you as such, but we only love it when you bring the development, and we will not vote for you. It's just party nomination. Party nominations and all that is bringing us together. We will register, yes, but we will not vote for you in our general elections. In the general elections, a IEBC elections sheet doesn't show whether you are from ODM, UDA, or whatever party it is. We can be members, and we can change membership as well. So it is just a way of giving you a ride, do your work, and then after that, we will vote for the person that we want and the leaders that we want. So it doesn't matter whether we join you or we don't. So people are just playing with the mind game. It's just a mind game, politics in Homabay.
I get you. It's just a mind game. That one is loud and clear. Goodyear, if the infrastructure are not maintained, Kenya will be at a standstill. The government and the governors have to pull their socks, otherwise we'll end up under water. Wasonga ako in denial. Karibu UDA Wasonga. That is Kula Chapati. I don't know, you people, it seems that Kula Chapati knows you well. He's welcoming you to UDA. I don't know if Kula Chapati is one of the registrars of some officials in UDA. I've taken this opportunity to welcome you to UDA. I think Kula Chapati, that message is. For Boniface, you had some hitches. Maybe I can allow you to speak before we proceed.
I'm good. I'm good, Leo, but I have some whooping cough.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Umeona venye watu wamejaa pale, turn out kwenda kupiga kura pale UDA, wale wa Homabay. Does it mean that Baba ameanza kupoteza watu? Because when one political party gains, of course another one has to lose. The number of voters, they brought down new registration, but these are the same voters who voted for Baba, who are members of ODM. I'm surprised today they are in UDA.
Leo, unajua kuna kitu ambayo nataka ujue. Wakati Baba Raila Amolo Odinga aliingia katika siasa za William Ruto, ni kama alitaka tu mambo iende segemnenge, maana ukiangalia chama yetu ya ODM haiendelee vizuri vile tunaonanga ikiendelea wakati wa elections ama wakati mwingine. Ni kama kuingia kwa AU imemfanya aingie katika tuambii. Maana naona watu wengi wanaenda pale kupatia Huda na hatujui shida ni gani. So it's upon Baba tuambie what is the direction so that we can know how are we going to vote when it comes to this grassroots, because we are still worried who is going to make this ODM party as the king. So we are worried. What I can say is that I saw the number of people who turned up to vote in those grassroots, but there is a problem. What I can say is that we have a problem in our ODM party. So Raila has been quiet. But what I can say is that when Raila is quiet, there is something wamemfanyia kitu. Hawezi kuwa amenyamaza tu hivi hivi. Lazima kuna kitu wamemfanyia. Na watuambie tu nini wamemfanyia.
Wamemfanyia nini?
Ama wamempatia pesa mingi sana ametulia because atuliangi hivyo. Siku hizi hata kwa mkutano tunaona Kalonzo, huyo Paranya, tunaona Martha Karua, hata yeye atokei, haonekani kabisa.
I get you. Unasema
so wamemfanyia kitu
baba
na ndio maana
amenyamaza,
ametulia.
jua wamemfanyia kitu na ile kitu ama wamemfinyia kitu. I get you. That is well received. Kula Chapati, I think Kasonga has already responded to you. He's telling you that he had got no issue with UDA. He even worked for SOS Children's Villages, Eldoret, for supporting children and youth in the region. So look for him. You can share more reasons, and you people can be able to air out that. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, another thing that is coming here, if I look at the comment of one good year, is saying that if we are not careful, if our governors and our government is not careful and we don't manage our infrastructure well, that leads to these floods becoming death traps, then Kenya is almost going to sink. And I just want to somebody is on mute. I want to give a certain comment concerning these things, the so-called floods that we are having, and I'll have to be in agreement with what Goodia is saying. There's this gentleman, the son of Nyando, Miguna said this, that the floods in Nairobi are caused mainly by, number one, absence of drainage and a strong water system, which will be part of all urban planning. Number two, wanton encroachments on riparian wetlands, rivers and forests. Number three, land grabbing and unplanned development. Number four, embezzlement of public funds meant for urban planning and infrastructure development. And number five, he said, these floods are also because of lack of emergency response and neglect. And that one was evident. You saw what happened in Madare, how long it took for them to get response until some well-wishers, we saw people like Kerry Kumondi, they're the ones who are giving response to people who are affected. Despite the fact I know people like the Red Cross and whatever might have been overwhelmed because these things were happening unnoticed, and they were happening in they were spread in different parts of the city. So this is a solution that Dr. Miguna is giving. You need to elect leaders of integrity with visionary plans and commitment for the public good, and who will not plan the resources meant for the 5 items that he mentioned. That was some of the things that Miguna noted that leads to the floods that we have. So in that line, I want us to look at some of the wastages that we're having in our counties. I know we are having wastages in so many counties in Kenya. We have wastages in Siaya, we have wastages in Homabay, Kisumu, Turkana, Machakos, Mombasa, Kirinyaga. You can mention them. But I want us to focus on what is happening in the Nairobi City County. We are having a governor. We are having audit queries. We are having public outcry. We are evidently seeing a city that is told nothing is moving on. People are just operating and running the city county with PR. You know, Nairobi City County is not Siaya. I'm not belittling Siaya, but Nairobi City County is the head. This is the capital where the seat of the throne is in Nairobi, the State House. It is a diplomatic city, the UN headquarters, yeah, and various departments are stationed in Nairobi. So if Nairobi is stinking, then they can conclude that the entire Kenya is stinking. We cannot have Kisumu County being clean when Nairobi is dirty. Before somebody reaches Kisumu, they'll first of all have to step in Nairobi. You saw today, because of the rains, some of the services at the Terminal C, that is Terminal 1C at the Jomo Kenyatta Airport, were interrupted because the roofs are leaking. The roofs leaks lifetime. The CS in charge formed a commission or a committee, I don't know how to call it, to investigate why the roof is leaking. Instead of repairing, it happened today again. Same thing. We'll still see a committee and maybe people getting fired. So there's something that is happening in Nairobi. And the worst of it is that the politicians, I'll start with the MCAs, they are quiet, they're not doing anything. They're the ones that are supposed to watch over the government. The senators are quiet. The political parties, you know, Nairobi, majority are from ODM, are from Azimio, of which we expect to see them even coming up with an impeachment motion or calling the senator, the governor, and put him to task. That one is not happening. The president, who is also a resident of Nairobi, is quiet. The leader of Azimio, whose members are the majority in that house, also quiet. Does it mean that these people conspired to loot Nairobi and to finish her totally? I want us to look at that conversation. And before we look at that conversation, I want us to take not necessarily a short break, but there is a video I want to play. I first of all start by putting a disclaimer. This video is not meant maybe to tarnish, or it's not for us. We are not tarnishing anybody's name. What is there is just a claim. It's just a collection of what people believe is happening in Nairobi and some of the promises that the leaders who are elected in Nairobi gave during elections.
So this is the state of Nairobi. I've gone to the Senate more than 11 times, more than any governor in the last 1 year. Out of the 14 or so invites, I've only missed 2.
It's about to go down.
Hang on 1 second. In fact, you have failed to appear before the Energy Committee to answer to questions of the Mradi explosion. How do you account for this time? Why aren't you available to the people that you report to?
It is clear this governor prioritizes sherehe instead of, government business.
Let's go. TikTok.
The governor should prioritize the expansion of critical infrastructure, including sewerage and water reticulation.
We are just against environmental terrorism.
Sakaja ni jina lako halisi.
Went and bought the team's university certificate at 7 million shillings.
That is fraud. That's fraud.
Awaelezee what happened with the 90 billion Kenya shillings imepotea kutoka Nairobi County. 90 billion.
The roads cannot be made because the governor has looted all the monies.
Seriously, is this how we are going to run the capital city of the Republic of Kenya?
Days of leaving your house and coming back in the evening to find a demolished structure are over in the county of Nairobi.
The demolition exercise by officials from Nairobi County government has left them homeless and exposed.
To an incident at the Nairobi suburbs of Westlands, where an Asian family has fallen to what it has described as a mystery and blatant land grab and eviction from their home of 46 years.
Estates in Nairobi County are expected to vacate their premises for what the county terms as the Nairobi Urban Renewal and Regeneration Project.
That the days of innocent traders and hawkers just plying their trade because the administration has not provided for them, being chased and bungled into rust-filled contraptions by my good officers in the county, are over.
Johnson Sakaja! Johnson Sakaja! Johnson Sakaja! Nimekuita mara tano. This is what you're doing to our mothers. This is what you're doing to our sisters. Your time is coming.
Nairobi under Sakaja is a piece of shit. Unacheki?
Huyu gavana alipeleka nyinyi msituni, mkuze kama gavana, mupeleke msituni.
Let us stand together. Let us stand behind Rigiji, and that's the only way we can win this battle.
Being my friend, he is also a good leader. Na anashughulikia watu yake. Na anakujanga kwangu, hajaleta maneno yake binafsi.
All right, sorry for that long video. And Wasanga, I'll just start with you. I know you've always been advocating for some kind of good leadership and a proper management of public resources. Why do you think that people are silent, as if there's nothing happening in Nairobi? Does it mean that the people have already given up, or they are part of this? I can't hear you.
People are not silent about the menace in Nairobi.
Okay.
Sakaja is a politician given a political seat to sit on, the governor's seat, which his predecessors, Sonko, as well as Kidero, left. So Sakaja comes in as a politician, not as a leader. Sakaja should never be called a Nairobi leader or even a governor. He's just a politician. In the best way that you can describe a very bad politician in the east and west of Africa, central and north, and the world as a whole, including Haiti and the rest. That is the full description of who Sakaja is. So he's not a leader. He's not a manager. He's a bad politician. That's what you can talk. I mean, why would you say that? I mean, we have good leadership in Nairobi. If you talk about the best governance systems, he doesn't have it. Look at his academic papers, which there's an acclamation that he got them from a Ugandan university. Who has ever proved that they are legit papers? We don't have the same proof. So until that time that Nairobi will elect a leader with wisdom, a leader who has the people's heart, I mean, people's problems at heart, that's when we will not have these drainage problems. That's when we will not have traffic snarl-ups. That's when Nairobi people will not, their houses will not be demolished. So at the moment, we don't have a governor in Nairobi. At the moment, we have a politician only.
But there's this claim, I don't know what is your take on it, that Sakaja is enjoying the protection of both the president and the Azimio leader, Raila Odinga. And that is why he's so adamant, he's so arrogant, and he knows that at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do to him.
Yeah, he's just trying to behave like a child in a family who always leans on the father's side and the mother's side. So he believes that in whichever situation, he will be backed up by the ODM. And on the other side, he will be backed up by his political party. He's just trying to play fit and smart. But in this case, I don't believe that he's smart looking at the ethical standards or the accepted code of conduct of good governance system. Politically, he can survive, but then how many people is he injuring within the Nairobi? He will get rich, but how many people is he making poor? Millions of people in Nairobi. Look at how things are working. I mean, this is the worst thing that we've ever had. And in fact, the world is watching that it's now high time for Nairobi County government to start hiring qualified engineers. I think we've just been having artisans in the name of engineers in the county government of Nairobi, maintaining our roads and looking after the drainage systems. Even the garbage collections has not been done fully, because the other time you heard him talking about where, I mean, the poor garbage collection systems and all that. It's because of the high taxation. That's why you see people taking the garbage and then throwing them on the roads. Now, this all these passages of water passages are completely clogged down. No one is there to unclog them. So it's a problem caused by the bad governance of Nairobi. We could have not had this kind of poor drainage systems within Nairobi.
I get you. I think that is clear. Boniface, do you think that Sakaja is doing what he's doing because he's having Godfather? Remember, your favorite governor, Sonko, was ousted. It didn't even take a week. And when it comes to Sakaja, nobody is even talking of impeachment. Yet we know very well that Azimio has got the majority in the county assembly. Why are they not impeaching the governor? Because there are so many things that have happened that are enough to impeach him.
Yeah, maybe. You know, if you have the Godfather, nowadays they say when you have the Godfather, then you are good to go. Even when you want to apply for a job and you or a guy who is familiar to you is there as the leader, then definitely you will be one of the best, even if you don't qualify. So I think governor has support from the government and also the opposition. That guy is very wise, by the way. He's very wise. He plays the cards very wise. That is why he has the yellow and the red card. So if the yellow card turns yellow, then he will just go to the red card. I think that one is a rule of football. But again, he is a very wise guy. So he has the support from Raila. Maybe he has been giving Raila something behind the doors. Ruto is there, is the government head. So what I can say is that Sakaja has advantage, and the way he talks without fear. So the support from the government and also the support from the opposition gives him a lot of energy, so that he can rule the county with all what he wants to do. So we can see what is happening. But I have seen a lot of memes trending that Nairobi, we are ready to swim. And I can attest to that we are swimming. Yes. I was in Nairobi today by 7 p.m. and I was swimming across the Luthuri Avenue all the way to Moi Avenue. Hapo tu ni maji tu una swim. Yani unavuka tu maji. Drainage pale zimejaa, hakuna hata mahali mtu anaweza tembea. But what I can say is that when we have these kind of leaders in our country, then we will never get to those countries that are developed countries. We will still remain to the third world countries. That is why we are very poor. And people compare Nairobi City. I've seen people saying that Nairobi City is so good. They are giving aerial view of Nairobi City. But again, that is just photography. Just go deep inside Nairobi. See the kind of buildings that we have. And you will know that we are still far away to even get into a position where we can be ranked with South Africa. I will not just go in far countries. We cannot match what we have in South Africa, that is Cape Town. If you compare Nairobi with Cape Town, then we are very far much behind. So what I can say is that we need to develop a country. We need to stop this kind of leaders who just want to get there and also develop on their own benefits. You know, you shall not be moving this way if you have leaders who are so selfish and they don't want to work and deliver to the citizens. So if Nairobi, I don't think whether we have someone who is qualified to rule Nairobi as the governor, because all the kind of governors since we started this devolution, Evans Kidero, Mike Bobisongo, now we have Sakaja. We have a long way to go. What I can say is that we need to work. These leaders need to understand. You cannot just keep on getting money and just put into a pocket. Just put into a pocket for the first 5 months, and the rest 5 months, the rest of the years, work for the county, work for the government, work for the members of the county assembly, work for the, if you are the MP, if you are the Senate, if you are the governor, work for the people. You cannot just take all of the money for the next 5 years without just working. People are there complaining. Just work. That is all what I can say. Just work. These leaders need to know that we want to see the kind of development. You know, some countries, I always want to compare our country with Museveni. You know, people say Museveni is a dictator, but I like how he always operates in Uganda. I like dictatorship. I like dictating because I think if you're dictating something, then you have to do it. It is a must to do it. If you don't to do, then you go home. That is all what we need in the country. If you are not performing in the county, go home. If you are caught in corruption cases, you are the police officer who was caught collecting bribes, taking money along Buruburu Railway. Jail that police. Go and assassinate him. We don't want to see these kind of things, man. We are tired by these corruptions and nepotism, tribalism. We need a straight country. Thank you.
I get you, Bonnie, and this maybe brings me to a last question that I want us to weigh on. Do you think that Nairobi should Nairobi should be put under the national government? Maybe like what is happening in countries like I think USA, the capital, we now have a ministry, for example, Ministry of Nairobi. So this person that is going to be managing this county is going to be appointed, not elected, because the moment we elect a governor, it is a political seat, and the governor will have to also behave like a politician, never to hurt the people who voted for him. For example, if you go to Nairobi right now, you have your shop, you're paying the rent for that shop, but right in front of your shop, somebody in the name of a hawker has blocked it, selling the same item that you're selling inside your shop. This person is not paying rent, this person is not paying some other rates there. Then they sell it at almost half price. And you're paying rent, you're paying everything, but they've also barricaded and blocked your customers. Before the customer reach to buy that cup in your shop, you already find it there. It is a city that is not ordered. So can we go like we have Nairobi being a department, just like a ministry, just have the Ministry of Nairobi, then you have people who are not elected, but they go through interview, they get it well. Then if you don't perform, you get fired.
Yeah, what I can say, no, we don't need Nairobi to be included in the national government. That one will be doing a very stupid thing. I will say that. If Nairobi is one of the counties, then we should also include it in the 47 counties. We have a lot of governors who are working, you know. We have some governors who are serious with the job they are doing. So if there's some governors who are given the same mandate as the governor of Nairobi, as the governor of Tana River, governor of Kisii, governor of Homabay, governor of Makueni, governor of Machakos, governor of Kitui, if now we have those governors and some of them are doing a good job, via the statistics that were done by the Infotrack and other research agencies, they have said that some governors are doing a lot of good jobs, MPs and also MCS. So we need to even include Nairobi there, because even if it is the capital city of the country, here now we need to get someone who is serious, someone who is serious to rule Nairobi, because this is the image of our country. Leaders, when they come from outside, they will land in Jomo Kenyatta. That is JKA. And you can see we have a lot of problems. People say that we are ready for hosting AFCON 2027, but I can say that we are not ready because the kind of hotels we only have GTC in Westland and some other few hotels. Do you think those hotels will be ready to host AFCON 2027? Considering that we have a lot of countries that are coming to this AFCON and they will be being hosted in Nairobi. Can we have the opening match done in Kasarani or Moi Sports Center or any other grounds that we have in Nairobi? So we are not ready. So what I can say is that Nairobi is the image of the country, and Nairobi needs someone who is serious, because if we are not serious, then we'll experience what we saw today. Some of the JKA roofs were in a messy condition, and we saw people complaining. So if we have this kind of situation, then what is the image of the country? We need a leader who is serious to rule Nairobi, to be the governor, to be the president of Nairobi, so that he can perform.
I get you well. Let me get back to Songa. Of course, I also need to thank the people who are viewing this, and to remind you that if you've not subscribed to Afrique, kindly ensure that you do so that whenever we are having this kind of live shows, you will always get notified so that you can be able to join. Of course, tomorrow being Saturday, that is today, for the people right now already, we are on Saturday. We are going to have one of the greatest show that we normally have every Saturday. That is the weekly wrap, whereby we try to wrap up what has happened in the political sphere throughout the week. And also don't forget that tomorrow we are going to have Dimba Afrique, where we'll be trying to analyze the games, give you predictions, and give you news on what is happening in our sport.
I want to tell them they should be keen tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be giving them the update for the last 2 weeks. Want to know what happened? The elephant has been down. Now it is still up there, but again, we have a lot of things to discuss about the elephant. We have a lot of things to discuss about the lion. They are saying that the lion has fallen from that bunch. So Chelsea is going to have a lot of problems. But again, we welcome them to the Timbal Afrique every Saturday, so that we can discuss what is involved in the matters of sports, athletics, golf, and also wrestling. It is here in Africa 24 where you get those updates and analysis when it comes to football, with your striker number 7, Leo Nyambaya, aka Gabriel Jesus.
All right, I told you when it comes to football, me, I only know of Arsenal and Gor Mahia. The rest I cannot be able. Those are the only 2 teams that I concentrate in. So Asanga, maybe as you give your final remarks, I just want to tell us, what do you think that as Kenya we can do so that we get responsible and accountable governance? It is a matter of fact that out of the 47 governors that we have, none of them is a manager, or none of them is showing some leadership. What we see are PR, and these are some of the things that are characteristics of politicians. So how do we ensure that a governor is somebody who is not playing politics with the people's life, but somebody who is focused and is working to ensure that services and the planning is done correctly?
I think one thing that you need to you need not to mix matters about leadership and management. These are 2 different things. You are a manager. You can be a manager. But then at the same time, would you be a leader? As I told you, Nairobi or any other county in Kenya, the other 46 counties, needs a leader. And what does it entail to be a leader? A leader must have wisdom. But as we see these other people, they're just intelligent and very cleverness and intelligence doesn't go with any sense of wisdom. A clever person can cleverly steal from your house, but a wise person will look at the repercussions and say, if I steal, then I would probably go to jail. If I steal, looking at the accepted code of conduct or the golden rule, then God will punish me. For those who believe in God. So a leader in these 47 counties should be a wise person. Wisdom can be attained through experience. Wisdom can be attained through reasoning. Just even reasoning with your people around you can give you the wisdom. So what does the people need to do? These are the characters of a leader that we want. But then what are the voters need to do? The voters need to stop getting bribes from those who are vying. And I repeat, they should stop getting bribes from those who are vying, because once they get the bribes, once they get bribed, then it compromises the quality of elections. I will vote for the person who gives me a lot of money. Then he gives you a lot of money. He goes and steals from you for the next 5 years. He goes and steals all the emergency funds that is supposed to help us during the floods, the flooding seasons, or during the droughts. He pockets them so that at least he can bribe you in the next 5 years. So the people or the voters themselves need to choose somebody based on the ideologies that they want, based on the capacity of somebody who can lead the people or who can lead them, and not looking at the money. They should look at somebody who can give them development, who can make them have sustainable development. That is the kind of leadership that we want. And if we have that, the counties of Nairobi, or I mean, the counties of Kenya will be at the pace of Singapore, which we are supposed to be at the moment.
And how is this one going to be possible? Because of course, every voter needs such kind of quality. But you know how our elections are normally compromised. When today you say that you want to become, for example, a senator back in your county, Siaya, if you even tell your close friends, the first thing they're going to ask is, Mr. Osonga, how much have you made? How much do you have in your account? Do you think people will be able to leave somebody who is giving them money, somebody who is attending the most funerals and giving the most donation, and they go for somebody who is having some practical solutions to the problems that they are having?
In the perspective of the Muslim, Muhammad was not bribed to lead his people. And in the perspective of the Christians, Jesus Christ was not bribed to lead the people, including Moses himself, leading the people from the desert to the promised land. He wasn't. So why is it that the fact that in the contemporary systems you have to bribe me so that I have to bribe you so that you vote for me? That is where we are getting it wrong. So if these governments can as well give civic education, proper civic education to the people, that now we are going to the general elections, what we need from you is to vote for somebody you feel like this can be the best leader, not somebody with a lot of money. In fact, I'm waiting for that time that Kenyans will choose the poorest, the poor of the poorest. I don't know. I'm yet to understand whether Salasia was voted on that paradigm or it was completely out of luck. But if we can have that, then definitely we can be having very good cities. We can be having very good sub-counties and counties. But if we are just looking for how many cars do you have, how much money do you have, then definitely we will be having it 10 cycle of years. We will just be having very bad governance, and it will be a cycle of bad governance and bad governance at the same time. And that trickles down.
So
Once we have a bad president, we will have bad governance, bad MCAs, bad senators, bad MPs, and then a poor country, a poor state, or a poor republic comes in. So it will just be a cycle of poverty and disasters and droughts and problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Isonga, for that consider. I hope my viewers and the fellow Kenyans, you've got it, that we need to look for some of the leadership qualities and people who are offering some practical solutions rather than looking at the materials of voting based on how we sympathize. Let me take this opportunity to welcome Atuya Junior. Atuya Junior, welcome to Africa. This is an open political talk show where we normally meet as Kenyans and we try to discuss matters politics, matters economy, and our social welfare, irrespective of your political alienation or what you believe in or which party you identify with, as long as our discussion is geared towards making us perceive and see things differently. And we also try to give some civic education to our fellow Kenyans that we can have a country that we desire only if we do things the right way. So karibu sana. Of course, today we were just looking at some of the trends, like we are having floods in the major cities. We are looking at some of the responses that the governors and the departments within these cities have put in place. Of course, we are also looking at the UDA grassroots elections. We saw elections running smoothly in some parts of the country, though when at the start there were some challenges with the digital gadgets, but that one was sorted. And we also saw something strange that happened in the UDA grassroots elections in Homabay, a zone that is normally perceived to be the bedroom of ODM. Today we saw they had one of the most turnout compared to other places, which makes us ask questions as UDA finally managed to penetrate in Nyanza, and they replacing ODM. Should the members of ODM, of course, Kimanzi is a member of ODM, get worried that they are getting replaced? So karibu sana, you can maybe introduce yourself and say one or two words away on some of the things that you feel comfortable with.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yeah, you're audible. We can hear you.
I go by the name of Atuya Junior. I'm a political enthusiast. I love commenting on politics, and I've been following the channel in the background for some time, though I've never been on live. So I was going through YouTube, then I saw you guys, so I listened in, and then I felt like I can drop in and say something also.
That's great. Welcome.
Thank you much. I was not really prepared, so I'll just comment. First, I think I'll begin with the floods. It's been devastating across the country, that we are losing lives to these lots of rain, and I'm not really sure why we never even had communication from the meteorological department warning us of impending heavy rains, because it seems to have caught us by surprise. We actually do expect rains at this moment, but we never expected it to these levels that it's happening. I'm even afraid of moving out of my house to town, because even my people from the village keep calling me, "Are you in the house? Did you manage to come back?" Because the smallest of rivers in Nairobi now, if it rains, people are running because they swell and you never know what's happening. I saw people, I think you've all seen the video in Makueni. It was very, very, very sad. You see people losing their lives while you're watching, you can't do anything. I don't know. Sometimes our people take so many risks because of the economic situations we are in. The Ukambani area has been experiencing such issues for a while. I don't know why they can't. I've been there during the dry season. People and vehicles actually cross over rivers. It's like it's a normal thing until it rains, and then that's when they remember that they need bridges. But when there is no rain, their leaders, we have governors there, we have leaders all over. They never remember to build bridges, but they have been losing people all the time because of those floods. So I want to say that all our prayers are with the families that have lost people. I was also, I was around Madar area yesterday from the other side of the Road, and the situation also was bad. You see houses submerged in water. The situation is bad. Actually, the rains have really exposed us. People are living in poverty. People building just next the river just to survive in Nairobi. We really need to do something as a country about that. Secondly, the political side of the floods. There is a lot that can be done by the administration, the government, the counties. There needs to be more effort. I don't think we have really seen good efforts from government to say that they're trying to save people's lives in Nairobi where it's been bad. So we expect more from them. As much as we know the situation is unavoidable, but at least we should see governments and the leaders trying to do something about it. So that's where they are in office. Going into the UDA grassroots elections, to begin with Homabay, I really doubt there will be much bigger impact to that. The turnout from the numbers that I've saw, the turnout was around 900 people reported as by the time they reported 4 hours ago. So people might turn up in the streets. People might vote in leaders. It was a ruling party, and I think something Wesonga was speaking about. People will always associate politics in Kenya with the handouts and money. So in any case, the ruling party is doing her primaries in Homabay. People will attend. People want to get into office, and anybody who wants to get elected into office within a ruling party in an ODM zone, particularly, it's not for political reasons. It's for other reasons that Wesonga knows well.
Get it.
but all in all, I have not seen any concrete results, but I saw Sakaja saying that they were doing primaries from polling station level. They're trying to form committees, and then they will move up to the ward in such a way. So the real politics will happen when they get to county positions and national leadership. That's when the real wrangles will come out, and that's when we will see what's going on there.
So that is when we are going to see the unleashing of men in black.
Yes, that's when it will happen. At the moment, little will happen. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen also team ground to impeach President Ruto. This one, I'll always treat it as I don't know, a good cause that will not see day of light.
Why do you think that team ground will not see it? That's a question that I've been asking people. Why do you think that the team ground is just going to fade away easily, like it won't see the day, or it won't go past maybe what it's doing currently?
The problem is the proceed. Okay, the how do I put this? There are so many stumbling blocks to impeach the president. They can only get so far, but when it will come to a point where now they need to raise the required, they need to meet the thresholds, they will massively fall short. So that one I don't see it taking. It won't go anywhere. Remember when he was deputy president? That was the easiest. That was the most likely time for him to be impeached by President Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, but still it was still hard. So him as president now, it will be hard to do that. And again, you have to remember that people do things for political reasons also. If I wanted also political relevance, I can also start a process of impeaching him. I get to some level, at least I will have left a mark in my village that I tried impeaching presidents. So next time I'm going for a funeral, nitapewa kiti mbele. I'll address the
So
crowd.
it's like these guys are just preparing maybe to get some political mileage and to show some
Yeah, it happens.
relevance.
Yeah, it happens. Because eventually they know how hard it will be. Yeah, so
I get you. I get you. I
yeah,
think
that's
that is well understood. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome you. Always feel free whenever you see us live. Feel free to join at the studio so that we can be able to discuss as Kenyans. So as we are winding up, I know we are having a big show tomorrow. I just want to give you gentlemen 2 minutes each just to say some closing remarks as we wish Kenyans good night and maybe good afternoon and good morning, the ones who are waking up right now. So maybe I'll start with you, Boniface.
Yeah, thank you so much, Leo. Thank you, Africa24. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Atuya, for this opportunity. And I hope we are going to interact and also share a lot of things when it comes to politics. You know, in Africa24 from Monday to Sunday, we always have this political show. And don't forget that today we had that wonderful show that is Bed of Roses, whereby you discuss all the kind of love issues. When you have a partner, you have problems with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you have a problem in marriage, then it is here in the Bed of Roses where we discuss those kind of things. And I want to thank you, the followers, and also the panelists today for this wonderful talk that we have had. And I hope together we shall go far. As we wrap the week tomorrow, that is a big show. I hope everyone will be here and we will always make you get informed. To the sports fraternity, tomorrow we have the Dimba. That is today at noontime. We have the Dimba Lafrique. I want to welcome you to this show so that you can give us the kind of ideas when it comes to sports. We can discuss what is happening. Who is going to win the UEFA Champions League, Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga is gone, and other kind of sports activities. Never miss Dimba Lafrique. And to the Arsenal fraternity led by Leo Nyabaya, who is the panelist today, I want to tell you that this season you are going home without any trophy. Thank you so much, Leo and Kevin and Atuya. Same guys. Chelsea.
I think that is close to partnership, eh? Wasonga, let me get it to you.
Yeah, just to say thank you very much to everyone, Brother Atuya and Brother Kimanzi, and the host, Brother Leo. It's at a time when Kenya has gone through a lot since we started 2024. A lot of things have been happening, road accidents, air flights, the one from Wilson Airport, which was having students training to be pilots. And most recently, the one which killed General Ogola and his 9 team members. And now we've gotten into floods. In the city where I am, things are cool. It's raining, yes, but no such floods. We expected that it would affect us here, but it's better than now the Nairobi, which we thought is quite advanced. So it rolls back to the kind of governance system that I keep talking about, poor governance as such. So all we are doing at Afrique is just to enlighten our our people, both leaders and the voters, to vote wisely when it comes to the next general elections, and as well as when they are doing the grassroots elections. Let's vote wisely. Let's join appropriate parties, not by euphoria. Because once we join them, then of course it ignites our minds that now we need to be in the government, we need to be in the opposition, but without correct ideologies, without the correct ideologies for good governance, ideologies for geared by the development of our cities, development of our counties. So all the same, I say thank you, and I would love to meet you in in the next show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Osanga. I'm also grateful that you managed to join and share with us your views on what is happening in the country. Let me give it to Brother Atuya Jr. so that he can give his closing remarks.
Thank you. I joined it late, but it's been enlightening. I hope to join in tomorrow early enough so that we can speak more on politics and other issues. So from me, I'll really appreciate the opportunity, and I'd like to thank you guys for having such platforms so that we can keep talking about our country, the economics, the politics, so that we can keep building this country. Wesonga was saying the other time about us Kenyans voting in leaders because of their financial might. I really don't know when we will ever end that, because I was just having a discussion earlier with some county admin from my county in Nyamira, and she was telling me out of around 35 MPs, MCAs, those are 20 elected and around 15 nominated, only maybe 2 or 3 have genuine academic papers. So I was asking, okay, genuine in terms of post high school. So I was asking myself, how are they the people, the men and women that are coming up with policies that are supposed to propel our county? And she told me, those are the people you elected. And it's funny that the people with ideas, I don't get those chances. We have let politics to be a game of money, and who's more popular, who has got a good name from the grandfathers. We've made politics a laughing game. That's why maybe we are facing lots and lots of problems. Something we can change as we keep on talking and enlightening people more. So I'm really happy to be here, and see you tomorrow, guys.
Thank you so much, and I also welcome you for tomorrow's show. Always, I know if you subscribe, you will get notified, and will be able to meet here and engage politically. Much thanks to the people who kept the comment section alive. Esther Mbatia, there's Ruto Pondi, Goodyear, of course. Goodyear saying that I remember years back when there was a campaign to make Mombasa capital, because Nairobi was once ignored. But this could not work because Mombasa is the gateway to Kenya. Shadrach Matoke, karibu sana. I can also see Mary Masuko, Geoffrey Ruto, thank you so much. Havel, thank you so much. You need to look for me in a different forum that we'll be able to talk. Climate change is real. Mother Nature is merciless. The floods have exposed the bad governing, and that is why we have to wear our political hats on during election. That is according to Goodyear. It's because of this weather that we've been able to know the people that we elect in office, they are so ineffective when it comes to response and preparation for natural calamities. Yes, it is a nature of God, but we always have a disaster management department that will always be having preparations to respond to this. Laban Misiani is talking of the issue. I think I did play that video. The driver who drowned people in Makueni should be charged for terrorism. Actually, that one is a death that could have been avoided. So to the fellow Kenyans, what I can tell you is that we need to take a much caution whenever we are moving, avoid overdriving, avoid tempting your life with the water. If it is not necessary, you don't need to cross. And that is what has led to several lives that have been lost, that we can say were lost in a manner that could have been avoided. Of course, there's this gentleman, I don't know, calls himself Kula Chapati, Karibu Sana, Ramesu Yegon, Kamasia family, Kamasia family, that's your new name. And everybody who managed to show up for the show till we meet again tomorrow, I just want to say good night from this end, and also good morning and good evening to my fellow Kenyans from wherever you are. Thank you so much, and let us meet again.
But what political leader can stand up and say my party is a party of principles? But the party of Kennedy is also the party of Islam. The party of Jarvis is also the party of Goldwater. Where is our party? Where is the political party that will make it unnecessary to march on Washington? Where is the political party that will make it unnecessary to march in the streets of Birmingham? Where is the political party that will protect the citizen of Albany, Georgia? Do you know that in Albany, Georgia, 9 of our leaders have been indicted, not by the Dixiecrats, but by the federal government for peaceful protests? But what did the federal government do when Albany Deputy Sheriff beat Attorney C.B. King and left him half dead? What did the federal government do when local police officials kicked and assaulted the pregnant wife of Slater King and she lost her baby? Those who have said be patient and wait, we must say that we cannot be patient. We do not want our freedom gradually, but we want.
It should be a party of collective responsibility rather than a party of personalities. Kenya must evolve a system of safeguarding interest of all wananchi throughout the country. I should also like to stress that these coming party elections should not be based on tribal grouping, regional or administrative boundaries. Our efforts to keep Kenya united would be meaningless if we were to base our decision on ethnic considerations. Individual candidates should be judged by their qualities and ability to perform their duties to the party. In approaching Kenya problems, we should be mindful of the fact that the majority of our people are still poor and need to be uplifted.
At the heart of Siaya town, in the lakeside county of Siaya, majestically lies Siaya Stadium. For 4 years, the stadium has intermittently been under construction. 80% of the work has reportedly been done, with the remaining 20%, including giving the stadium an aesthetic lakeside look, expected to be carried out by the Governor James Orengo administration in the coming months. Once complete, the stadium is said to be one of a kind. The sports pitch, for instance, has been constructed to meet FIFA standards in terms of length and width.
The field that we've grown grass, or we've planted grass on, measures, the playing ground measures 110 meters by 68. That is equivalent to Old Trafford in England, Emirates in England, and is bigger than Anfield, the field that is owned by Liverpool.
Around the pitch will be a racing track that as well will meet the athletic standards.
The dimensions of the field are up to standard. Like the athletics track is supposed to measure 400 meters in diameter, and is supposed to have a minimum of 8 lanes for international levels. We have that provision. The space that we have can contain 8 lanes plus an extra 5 meters that can still even add another lane.
Unlike other county stadia with pavilions minus proper stands, the 20,000 capacity stadium will not only have a roofed pavilion but also concrete stands all around it. These stands will be surrounded by towering floodlights that are set to be mounted at strategic corners.
The columns have been, if you look at the main pavilion, you can see 3 steel columns. There are about 5 more that are also lying down there, just awaiting installation. Then trusses that have been made in Nairobi are 9 out of a possible 11, so we only have 2 to go.
In Block A, where the pavilion will also be changing rooms, a media center, a gym center, conference halls, as well as a restaurant.
And looking at the standards to which we are building this stadium, many people that have come here, be it auditors from the Auditor General's office, be it people from other counties, be it people who have come with the intention of critiquing or criticizing this project, they come here and say that the kind of stadium that SIA is doing seems to be better than any stadia around.
I think when it's completed, there will be use of that stadium, not when there's a football match. We're looking into how can that stadium earn money for SIA when there's no football match.
Certain that this year's allocation in the county budget towards constructing the stadium will go a long way in seeing its completion, county officials believe the stadium will also benefit neighboring counties.
They are eager to come and use it, and we are promising that we are delivering it very, very soon. We are only urging them to just be a little more patient with us so that we give them quality. We don't want to rush, then we give them some standard facility.
I want to persuade you that it is work in progress, and the next Piluo, which took place in Homabay this year, when all the 4 Nyanza counties met in Homabay for activities, cultural activities and sports. Next year in August, they're going to be held here in SIA. The focus will be the stadium. So we have no alternative but just to make sure that it's completed properly, and that will be done.
The stadium is also expected to be a platform for rising local sports stars as Siaya County seeks to cement its place on the sports map, not just in the Lake region, but also in the country.
As the people...
It's hard not to be bitter, especially when you go through situations. Yesterday, me and my wife went to see one of our pastors. And he's one of us. He's in Nairobi district, within the Kenya Assemblies of God. He's a Nairobi district men's chair, director of men in Nairobi district, within the Kenya Assemblies of God. And he was sharing the story of his mother. She's in hospital in Kenyatta, and she needs urgent medical attention. And then the following day, the doctors go on strike. And he went on and on to tell the story. And I don't know if you have ever seen desperation. And I'm looking at him and he's saying the story. And I'm getting angry by the minute. And 2 weeks later, he's holding his mother and she's dying. And there's nothing he can do because there are no doctors and the theater is closed. And he picked up the phone and called a few surgeons, and none of them was willing to come. And so he lay his mother on the bed and he walked out. And he went home. He said, I couldn't stay to watch my mother breathe her last. And I didn't want to cry in front of him. But I was angry. I was angry. And I'm still angry. And I pray that I don't get bitter. But what is happening in our country is wrong. Is wrong. And what breaks my heart the worst is that the pastors are saying nothing. The church is mom. And the people who are wasting away in those hospitals are our members. I want you to imagine laying your mother down because there is nothing more you can do, and you walk away because you don't want to see your mother breathe her last. And then I read in the newspapers the wastage in the county governments, the money stolen in the county governments. And I want to tell my governor, Johnson Kasakaja, and all the other governors in this country, the blood of that woman is on your hands. And the CS for health. Because what is happening is wrong. And we condemn it in the name of Jesus Christ. Now I want you to imagine what's happening. In first floor, second floor, and third floor, Kenyatta Children's Hospital. Parents holding children. Their children who are dying. I want you to imagine as a mother for 1 minute, you're holding your child and the child is dying because there's not a single doctor who can attend to your child. What do you think those parents are praying? What prayers are they praying? I know many of you have children. The parents who dedicated their children this morning, I want you to imagine that you're holding your child and you're in Kenyatta. And there's nothing you can do. You can't call anyone because it's your government that has dropped the ball on you. It is wrong. I looked at Eric's eyes yesterday. He's telling me that I walked away because I couldn't watch my mother die. He drove home, and when he got there, he got the call, and he drove back to hospital. God forgive us. God forgive us. There are times you think it's too far away until it's with you. And yesterday, it was with me. I looked at Eric Odondo's eyes. I'm his district treasurer. And I couldn't even cry. I was looking forward for the time I'll walk out of that home. Kenya is not broke. I repeat, Kenya is not broke. But we have thugs in office. And we elected those thugs. That's the truth. Because we elect people on the basis of tribe, not merit. So we are as good to blame as those doctors in there. And until the day we don't elect on the basis of tribe, but on the basis of merit, then this nation will change. The day you stop voting as a Kikuyu, or as a Nandi, or as a Luo, or as a Luya, then this country will change. Because it looks like every time there's election, we put common sense aside. And we become foolish. It's like we are bewitched. And we owe that young man an apology. And all those women and fathers who are holding their children in government hospitals. And then the child dies in your hands. And you go to the mortuary.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. sisi sote wananchi tushangilie.
Kweli yavutia